Mr. Lyte Burly, the 52 block practitioner, all around martial artist, uh, talker of martial artists, practitioner of martial artists, and of course, you got to, you run into your reflections. Wolves know the other wolves, and if you don't, you're in trouble. You can't separate the wolves from the bear. So we got another wolf on deck right here. So before I go any further, could you please introduce yourself to the crowd? Give us a brief a brief add up of who you are and what you've been doing lately and what you are in martial arts.
Definitely, definitely. Peace and blessings to all, man. I'm Coach Sam, Sar Shemuel Benyamin, the owner and creator of the Bancroft Urban Survival System, the
Mm,
bus system, located out here in Union City, Georgia. Been in martial arts about almost 40 years now.
mm,
Um, Traveled
mm,
all around the world studying, kickboxing background, Muay Thai background, and just ventured out because of bodyguarding and executive protection, having to develop other skills. So got into combat sistema, combat sambo, Kessie, and just wanted to keep evolving the game. Learn more and be able to spread out and teach what I know so the next
mm.
group can get the
Yeah.
knowledge and pass it on.
Yes. Well, we're in the world of martial arts. I've come across many stories of why men decide to become martial artists or jump on the warrior's path. What was your story? What was your thing? What was it? Was it something you always knew or felt, or was it something that just came to your attention, or somebody else told you about?
No, I was, and this is going to be interesting. I don't want it to sound crazy.
Uh
Um, we have the ability to access that information in our DNA. And
okay.
there's
Break it
something
down.
that is ignited inside of you that you know from a little age what you're supposed to be.
Hmm.
And a wolf doesn't come out of the womb trying to figure out if it's a wolf or not. It understands instinctively what it is.
Wow.
And I just needed somebody to train me to help me bring out that energy so I can understand and articulate now
Right.
the understanding that I have.
That's right.
So martial arts was always a part of me.
Okay.
So my journey began from the time I decided to enter this realm from the higher ups. So I
Mm,
was always that.
mm.
Even in my study, even in you know my pursuit of my quest to evolve or become better, warriorhood is at the root and the foundation of my movement. So there's nothing that I don't study, there's nothing that I won't submit myself to as far as
Wow.
gaining this knowledge or learning from somebody. I tell folk all the time, you can be a white belt in a system, and if you have something that's going to benefit me and help me evolve as a better martial artist and a better warrior, I have no problem understanding the why as to what you see and how you can
Mm.
help me understand it. There's no
Wow.
ego involved in my desire to evolve.
That's right. That's right. Oh, that was deep. Because that goes to one of the questions I've kind of asked people before, like, are warriors made or warriors born? What do you think? Are they made or are they born?
I think I think warriors are born,
Hmm.
but to articulate and learn how to understand who one is truthfully, you have to make it.
Hmm.
You have to put them in the environment to express themselves. Like point in case, let's talk about culturally
Okay.
who we are as melanated men.
Yes, sir.
How many melanated men are walking this earth right now who were born to be warriors, but systematically they were shuffled into an environment that caused them to shut that instinct off.
Mm.
So there was no room to make him into what he was truly supposed to be. So now he's stuck in an environment where his depression is on the rise, where his
Wow.
anger is on the rise, and he has no understanding that he's supposed to be out here destroying and conquering. He's supposed to be out here chest out. He's supposed to be out here navigating, protecting, doing what a warrior is supposed to do. But he's behind somebody's curtain. He's sitting at somebody's desk, and somebody else told him that it was off for him to think like that. So there was no place for him to be trained to
Wow.
truly understand what his path was supposed to be. So I believe that they are born,
Mm,
but it requires the environment for them to be made.
mm. So you just killed it right there. And I don't think there could be a better answer to that question, because that question can lean both ways depending on your upbringing, or what's your background. But I agree. Like, I know, like, some of the best fighters in the gym are the workhorses, not the ones with talent. Because the
Right.
ones with talent, back in the old days of boxing, they called it laying on your laurels. The lay on your laurels meant you was just surviving off your talent. You had no work ethic. So you are
Right.
correct. The warrior could be born, but the warrior still needs to be trained, because the warrior could be also diluted, or have his warrior spirit broken before it's even had the chance to flourish. So I think
Right.
that is a great answer. But let's get into it. So, conversations with a martial artist, I got 10 questions to go over.
Like,
Yeah, that's right. We bring it up, we get to the juice of it, because there's a lot of young melanated warriors that I believe you know, are not getting the proper information. I'm not going to say on the whole, of course not, because there's brothers like you, there's brothers like me, there's other brothers out there. So whenever I get a chance to get a real martial artist in front of me, I like to dig deep into questions, so the young men that's listening to it, or that's going to watch this pre-recorded, they can get some jewels. Well, we went through the first one, about your background. Okay, how did you go about creating your martial arts system? Like, what were the factors that went into that you decided this needed to be brought to the world? Like, this needs to be a thing. Like, what was that? And please break down the name again, and the whole
no doubt.
abbreviation.
No
Uh,
doubt. This is the Bancroft Urban Survival System.
okay.
It's called the BUS system.
Hmm.
Um, what really changed my mind and really got me into evolving this and then wanting to teach these concepts. I started off in kickboxing
Okay.
and started off in Muay Thai. And I was young, I was dumb, I was aggressive, testosterone, and I'm big. I'm 6'4", 270, and I'm
That's a
just
problem.
having my way. I'm
Yeah.
having my way with things.
Yeah.
And that mentality, you're fighting, you're big in your town. This is the early MMA days. This is the time when you didn't need a whole bunch of networking as far as internet's concerned. Like you're the big dog, and that's how you feel. But I started to realize as I got out of that ego mode and I got into executive protection, and the skills that I was required to perform, I was able to get by not knowing, because I had a martial art background and I was able to adapt to certain situations. But I realized that the adaptation that I was making to survive in those environments, I was only going to survive but so long without humbling myself and going to develop and get the other skills that required me to transform from reality to reality. So
Facts.
that got me out of the sport thought process and put me in the practical application and reality based process. And
Okay.
that elevated because I now work in a world where, God forbid, things have to elevate. I cannot second guess if I have to eliminate this threat. You see, so there's no in between in my world right now.
Okay.
So it either is or it isn't. So you have to develop the skill set to be able to elevate those levels, and then you start to base your understanding on your reality.
Hmm.
So if the system does not match a reality that people are going to try to survive in, then you're in the wrong system. Why are you studying?
That's right.
Why are you studying? I ask guys all the time. I say, okay, why are you taking Muay Thai?
Hmm.
Man, because man, these the best fighters in the world, and this, that, the third, and blah, 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 blah. It's hardcore. What have you seen in your everyday walk that makes you think Muay Thai is the best where you are every day?
Hmm. Hmm.
Who have you seen walking in jeans and Timberland boots
Church.
execute this art? right here in the
Sure.
middle of who have you seen do this?
In the
You,
projects, in the back buildings. Go ahead, church.
so,
Continue, brother.
so
Continue.
I'm trying to understand why is it that okay, you believe this, you believe this. What I believe is the best art is the one that helps you execute whatever plan that you're trying to execute in
Mm,
whatever environment you're trying to execute in it. That is the best art. So if I live as an everyday 9 to 5 dad and I have a family and I got, wife, kids, and I spend 3 days a week trying to learn something to defend myself, why the hell am I going to spend it doing Muay Thai?
mm, mm.
Why? I'm not going pro. All the tools of Muay Thai is going to take me so long to truly conceptualize. And when I go to express this level of information that I've just acquired, the world that I'm going to express it in does not look like this. But I'm an everyday father, and this guy just shows up with a gun. He shows up with a knife, and here I am. I'm in my Thai stance. I'm saying, oh shit, I've never seen this kind of scenario in my gym.
Yeah, yeah. We don't spar with guns. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That rarely happens. That
You
really.
you understand? So the preparation for that particular situation was never gone over in that specific environment. So again, why are you there? And that's what got us to really pushing the system that we currently push now. It got us to what can the everyday man do in order to be able to protect his family and protect his legacy? What can the
Awesome.
average person be able to understand and be able to articulate to help them become, equipped with the understanding on how to survive? It takes
Yeah.
time for somebody to learn how to fight. I just need you
Fact.
to understand the ability and the scenarios and what you're going to have to execute specific movement and specific expressions in order to get you away from a situation to get you from point A to point B or protect your family.
Mm.
So,
Boom. You church, church, church. But I want to go deeper on that. So what? Uh. Because I talk about this as far as the I call it the kung fu hustle. Like you go to these seminars, they give you these moves, 18 different moves, and you ain't gonna execute all of that. So this, and I get it, but I understand why they need to break it down like that too. I understand because they're trying to show, but what's the fine line between that and somebody giving somebody that comes to one of your seminars something they can leave home with? Like, where do you draw the line between the technique and giving them something that if they leave your seminar that they can go home with and turn into something?
um, I don't, I could care less if he kind of went out there. Okay, I see. Um, I could honestly care less if they see any type of elusive speed from me. If I give them any of my, crafty internet showboat techniques, I want you to leave with something that you can apply day one. So we're going to focus on the movements that are natural to you. So that way you don't have to even overthink them when you leave from this seminar. So we focus on situational awareness, palms being up, simple things that you can articulate leaving out of this place. We focus on elbows and hammer fists starting out day one. Um, because it takes a long time for you to understand how to properly throw a punch. It takes a
Yeah.
long time for you to understand range on throwing a punch. You have pro fighters that don't know how to throw a proper punch.
Yep.
I'm
You
you
can
have you
hear
have
me.
professional fighters
Yeah.
that don't know how to throw proper punches, and we all, if we have a sport background, for the most part we throw flawed punches.
Yeah.
And we don't ever want to get into this conversation, but I mean, these are things that we have to start truly understanding. So, from that standpoint, if you're going to leave here day one, I want to give you something simple that you can take away and help you to understand that it's not about you beating this person up. It's about you neutralizing them enough to get that separation so you can go home, so you can get away. It's not about you standing over your opponent trying to, beat the chest and, kick the ego out. No, it's about going home. So
Fact. Facts. Facts. Excellent. Okay. Well, I think the question number three was, what are your difference? What do you think the difference between sport fighting and real fighting is? You kind of already knocked that one out the park. So, what are the odds of what you train in the gym and what you practice? What are the odds of it being able to be real for real time? Like, is there? Because we know there's no definites, there's no absolutes in this thing right here. But what do you believe is a proper method of training, I should say, that you can use, that that if you get into a real time situation, you can use this in real time? Like, what are some training methods that people could adopt so that they can be ready for a real time situation?
Um, the thing I would tell folk is this: you have to, number one, you're gonna have to commit. You're gonna have to commit, and it all starts with the commitment. You have to have a desire to commit violence. And
Mm,
when I say this, there has to be something that is ignited or something that is turned up in you, because we're always talking from a defensive posture, meaning that we don't go out here bothering people. We're not teaching anybody to go out here and start fights. No, that's never our intention, and we're never going to go out here and bully. All our job is protect and help, never to just go out here and intentionally hurt. So if we do come to some sort of disagreement or where we have to engage, you have allowed or you have created the environment for this to happen. So we have to be comfortable committing great levels of violence, because my whole thing is, why are you bothering me? And I think that commitment is where it starts. And from there, we'll break it down. We want to get comfortable getting inside, being close, because 9 times out of 10, that's where it's going to lead to somebody grabbing, somebody getting inside. So we want to learn how to work the inside quickly. Being able to create the separation after working the inside and being able to get away. Um, we want to understand range. I mean, these are just simple things that, you know, hand posturing.
mhm.
There's a lot that you can teach somebody just from having open palms and shadowing body language. There's a
Yes,
lot of things you can work on. I mean, being defensively responsible. Um, I teach blocking.
I see it. I love it too. I love it. I love the
That's
framing.
one of
I
the
love your
that's one of the
framing.
main things we push, man. Like blocking, and focal say dumb stuff like, "Oh man, it doesn't work." It absolutely does work. It
I mean,
absolutely does.
I've heard some of that too, and I'm always confused with that. It's like, when did blocking stop working? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've been doing this since the dawn. It's like, when did blocking stop working in real fights? So I always tell them, like, so if blocking doesn't work, are you saying we just doomed to catch punches with our face? Is that like, is that what's supposed to happen here? Like, we can't defend ourselves no more. Like, blocking doesn't work, so we just got to go rock 'em, sock 'em robots. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Until somebody falls. Like, so I'm always confused by that statement. But yeah, I love your framing. My next question is going to dig a little deeper. When fighting, do you fight to kill, or is that a decision you make within the fight?
Um, you always fight to kill.
Okay,
You
talk
always
about
fight to kill. Um, but you have to understand how to bring it back down.
it.
You don't. You. It's almost like being understanding what a real apex predator is. A bear can engage you with the intent to kill you, and then realize through the engagement that you're not worth going full out to go for the kill, because you're no longer a threat. You're immobilized. It just stepped on your back. It broke your back. It knows you can't move. It scratched you up enough. It's put enough pressure on you. Become completely submissive. He sniffs you a little bit and walks off because you're no longer a threat to him. So, but he approached you with the intent to kill you. And I think that that intent needs to be there.
Mm-hmm. Mm, mm. And that's wow. Yeah, real
But
talk.
I would say this. I will say this. When I'm teaching women in women's defense, I, it I can't honestly lie to them and tell them I'm going to teach you how to go from 0 to 50 to 100, because when women are engaged, it's some of the worst things humanly possible that a man could be approaching her for. You see?
Mhm.
So she doesn't have time to figure out what his intent is.
Yeah.
Now she has to elevate the levels of violence to and be comfortable doing this with thinking in her mind, I got to eliminate this guy. I have
Hmm.
to get rid of this individual.
Hmm.
Now it's always about, okay, boom, I've created enough separation where I can get away, but that is only because she's got the separation to go away. That now that kind of puts second rate. Okay, the desire to kill you. Now my desire is to flee because I see that opening. But I got to go into this confrontation with the desire to kill you.
Wow. That's true. That's true. So there is no switch that switches in the middle of the fight. It's from go. It's from
From
go.
go because you could have left me alone.
Mm. But like the key thing you said too is also knowing how to turn it off. So in the midst of this fight, your opponent begs for mercy. Do you give it to him or do you give him the kill? Because like you said, you have to have the ability to turn it off too, like to accelerate it and maybe bring it back if your opponent, decides that he's done, he's through, he wants out, he wants life over death, he takes the L. You still have to have that ability to bring it back, which I think a lot of fighters, because I met a lot of good fighters, but they couldn't turn it off. Like,
Right.
it stayed on. And I think as good as that thing can serve you in wartime, in peacetime, you can't be walking around still trying to chop off heads in the war. And we done signed peace treaties already. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know how to turn it off. So I think one of the biggest things with the kill factor is also knowing how to like shut it off and bring it
That's
back. So
that's
that
right.
that was that was pretty deep. Uh, what matters more to you? What do you think matters more in fighting, defense or offense? Offense being your ability to kill your opponent, and defense being your ability to make sure he can't hit or kill you. Which one ranks higher in your book?
Where are we talking about the fight being at? Where are we talking
Uh,
about the fight?
Um, it could be anywhere, or we could say someone you are fighting someone on your level that he is dangerous.
Okay.
He's good too. What's going to matter more to you in the fight? Would it be your sword or your shield?
Okay. Um, if I'm looking at this from practical application in real life, not a sport where I got time and I can play the defensive game, counter and sit back and play the time and that if I okay, yeah, then I would say defense first. I would
Hmm.
say defense in a sport environment.
Okay.
But I would say in any real application, even in sport, a great offense is a great defense.
Hmm.
So regardless of the fact, it is I mean, a great offense is a great defense, regardless of where we're at. So, if I can impose my will, and I'm confident enough to impose my will, I'm not sitting back waiting and says too much defense and get you killed anyway. So, you know, I'm going with a great offense.
Okay,
Going with
there
a
you
great
go.
offense.
There you go. That's right. We hey, what I'm saying, everybody has their side. Everybody picks their side, and that was a great breakdown of why you chose offense. And I agree with you. I I always kind of say that a lot of street fights that we talk about, like the fights, excuse me, the 52 block fights that I seen when I was coming up was happening between guys that were brothers. They were friends and they got into a disagreement and it was time to fight. So the fight never measured up to the level of kill. It measured up to like the level of I won, you lost.
Yeah.
I'm the greater man. I'm the greater man today. But now if you fighting a full out stranger with no ties to it and it's all out, I can understand why it's better just to click on go. And like, and just take what you take and give what you can give. I understand that line, line of thinking makes sense. Um, all right, what's one of the biggest things you've learned about fighting after all of these years of everything you did, security, bouncing, training? What's one of the biggest things you've learned about fighting that you can give to these young warriors coming up?
98%
Uh huh.
of the fancy stuff that you think you need is all crap.
Mm, talk about it. 98. Whoa, that's big numbers. You put big
It's
numbers on that one.
all crap.
Go ahead, talk about it. Talk
It's
about
all crap. You don't need it. You don't need to spend all your time going over it, because when your speed slows down, when certain things get weaker, it's going to be the fundamentals. It's going to be the basics.
it. Mhm.
It's going to be the foundations, the basic principles that you go over, whatever system it is, whatever your style is, whatever it is, the basics. Don't forget the basics. Do not desire to go so far that you forget what got you there.
Mm,
We tend to, throughout this whole journey of martial arts, the
wow.
simplicity of it is what keeps me actually seeking more.
Mm,
I don't desire to see if I can throw a 13 strike combo in under a second. I don't have any desire to prove that at this stage in my journey.
salute.
At this stage in my journey, I'm really trying to see truly what my mind can master. My body has already expressed itself in a high capacity, and its conversation has been beautiful for years. But through my evolution, the ability to allow my mind to access this true nature of the art, the oneness of it. And it may seem like some ancient jargon to many. And that if it does seem like that to you, that means you've truly separated yourself from the beauty of the journey of the art.
Oof. Heavy,
Don't lose those foundations, young folk.
heavy, heavy. And that leads to my last question. And I think it segues right into what you just said. What is mastery?
Mastery is that you realize there is no mastery.
Boom! Shots fired. Baka, baka. We have a winner. We have a winner.
It doesn't
Wow.
it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And if you've truly reached that level, then my question to you is, why are you here?
Mm. I don't. I don't think. I don't think you're still here. I think you reached
Why are you here?
mastery in
If you
depth.
truly reach that, then why are you here? That's the question.
Get
Because
your stuff and get out the dojo. Get your bag and get
from
out
my
the
belief,
dojo.
yeah, if you reach that level, then you should have already ascended, brother. You should be going by now.
So why you down here with the mere mortals? What you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no mastery, man. There's none. There's none. There's none.
Wow. Wow. Did you listen? I don't want to hold you up. I know you got other moves to make. Thank you for this great conversation. Can you let the people know where to find you? I know you on he's on Instagram dropping dope video after dope video. You must go check him out. So please give them your Instagram handles where they can find you if they in Georgia and they want to take a lesson.
All right, awesome deal. On IG, we are at the bus system. Um, that's BUSSYSTEM. You can find us on Facebook at the Bancroft Urban Survival System, and we are located in Union City, Georgia. You can reach out to me on those platforms and contact us if you need any training. We also provide executive protection, recovery, bodyguarding. So just get at it. We're here.
That's right. That's right. You need them services. You know who to reach out to. And as soon as I get down to Georgia, we're gonna link up, put some videos out there.
Right.
Go ahead.
Bro, let me please. Can I just say this here, please?
Go ahead.
No. For women's defense, we really focused on that. and kids development. So if you have sons, you have daughters, we teach trafficking defense, we teach protection, all of these things, that are affecting the community. So please look us up.
Oh yeah, that was big. That you heard that. You heard that. You know what I'm saying? My phone, I don't know what it is where I'm at over here in Texas, but I've been getting more Amber Alerts since I've been down here than ever. Like it's ridiculous down here. So that is big, trafficking, teaching the kids how to handle those situations and maneuver in those situations. You're doing God's work, brother. You're doing God's work. So we salute you over here. We're honored to have you come over here and grace our platform. And like I said, when I get down there to Georgia, I'm gonna be with you. We're gonna put some videos up and show them how the Melanated Warriors do on the
Man, I'm
Dream
looking
Up
forward to
Team
it,
Up.
man. Yeah, I'm looking
Dream Up
forward to
Team
it,
Up,
man. I'm
man.
looking forward to it, brother.
Salute.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
appreciate
Bless
you. Thanks
you,
for
God.
having. Thanks
Yeah,
for stopping
peace,
through. We'll see
peace,
you again. Salute,
peace.
warrior. All right.